our country for generations to come. And he chose this room, you, to hear it first. And that says something powerful about who he is and how deeply he believes in the work you're doing. Attorney General Andrew Bailey is not just a name in a headline, he's one of us. He's a father of four and a man who has put everything on the line to defend life and uphold the rule of law. Since the moment Amendment 3 was passed, he's been in the trenches, standing firm to protect our state's hard-won pro-life laws and to ensure abortion facilities don't get a free pass on safety and licensing. He didn't have to come here tonight. He wanted to. Because he knows how much you care and how hard you fought and how urgently we need to stand together. Please join me in welcoming Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much. Thank you for having me here tonight. What a humbling privilege to get to be here amongst fellow believers in the Word of God, believers in the sanctity of life. I want to thank Brian and the team at Coalition Life, the entire network of sidewalk counselors and volunteers who are truly the front line in the fight to save lives. Your work is so vitally important to the pro-life movement, and it represents tangible action. Too often, tough talk is substituted for action, but not so with Coalition Life. Your hard work protects women and saves children's lives, and we all owe you a debt of gratitude for that. I know my colleague, our Lieutenant Governor Dave Wassinger, was here earlier. I got to speak with him. He was here amongst us. I want to thank Lieutenant Governor Dave Wassinger for his commitment to pro-life. I feel fortunate, and we should all feel grateful to have a stalwart leader and defender of life in the Lieutenant Governor's office, and I'm so proud to get to serve with him shoulder to shoulder in this fight. I want to tell you just a little bit about myself, and that'll maybe help you understand some of what we do at the Attorney General's office. Growing up, I always wanted to be an Army JAG attorney. I went to the University of Missouri on an Army scholarship. 9/11 happened. My plans changed. I volunteered for a combat arms branch of service, then volunteered to go to Iraq. And you can imagine the phone call I had with my mother after I had just volunteered to go to Iraq and gotten those orders stamped. And I called her to tell her that I was going overseas. She's just now started talking to me again. So we have repaired that relationship. After 2 years in Iraq, 2 tours overseas, and a couple of Christmases away from my family, I was ready to come home. And after serving in the Army, I took a job as an armed guard at the Juvenile Court Family Division in North St. Louis City. I worked to ensure the safety of kids who are facing tribulations that many adults could never understand. So I went from commanding 13 platoons in combat to wearing a revolver at the front door of the courthouse. And eventually I was admitted back into law school on the post-9/11 GI Bill. I studied to be a prosecutor. It was my ambition to hold bad guys accountable and find justice for victims. After graduating law school, I was hired as an assistant prosecuting attorney. In order to make ends meet, I also worked as the county juvenile office attorney. And I'll never forget standing in court, watching a child plead with the judge, beg the judge to terminate his biological family's parental rights so that he would have a home to go to for Christmas. I didn't realize that there were children in Missouri that didn't have loving homes for Christmas. My wife and I were moved by that and felt called to become foster parents. And ultimately, we've been blessed to adopt 3 beautiful children. Some of you may have heard me tell this story, so if I'm retelling the same soil, I apologize. But my oldest 2 children were 3 and 2 when the Children's Division put them in our home as foster kids. And the children's division introduced us at a Burger King, so my children think kids come from Burger King. I thought kids come to you potty trained and talking. I didn't know there was this whole other side to it with diapers and 4 a.m. crying and bottles and everything else. But after we had adopted my oldest two, they went down to Texas to visit my in-laws, their grandparents, and the children's division put a newborn baby in our home. And my oldest kiddos, well, first of all, I learned that kids don't come to you potty trained and talking. But my oldest two kiddos come home from Texas, they walk in the house and say, well, you went to Burger King without us? So after we had first gotten placement of my oldest two children, and they were foster kids, and we were on a trajectory to be able to adopt them and provide a permanent loving home and become a family, we also found out that my wife was pregnant. And we went to the first ultrasound and were given a prognosis inconsistent with life. A few months later, my daughter was born. And we named her Grace because by the grace of God, I got to hold my daughter in my arms for 1 hour before she went home. 1 hour. And you know what? I wouldn't trade the hour I got to spend with my daughter for anything on earth. From adopting children out of the foster system, I know we can find loving homes for all children. And after the passing of my daughter, Grace, it further instilled me the sense that all life has value, period. These moments, these trying moments, have convinced me beyond a doubt with the unshakable understanding that life is intrinsically valuable. As Psalm 139 says, the delicate workmanship of our Father is so marvelous. Every life, no matter how long on this earth, is truly a miracle. Recently, my wife and I were blessed with a biological child, my son. So I've got a 12-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old at home. We are currently potty training a 3-year-old, so prayers are appreciated. Being a father is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Today, the fire to protect God's children has only continued to burn and grow inside me and motivates me in the work I do every day. As Attorney General, I want Missouri to be the safest state in the nation for women and children. Since taking office on day one, I've been fighting to save the lives of our most vulnerable and for the health and safety of women and children. As Christians, we're committed to fighting this battle to protect life. We follow Jesus' radical example that everyone deserves unconditional love, expelling evil as it tries to take the lives of God's children. The war against murder and devaluing humans has been raging for centuries. And these biblical practices that we learn about in the Bible, child sacrifice, infanticide, have never left our societies. They've only been repackaged and rebranded as abortion. Make no mistake about it, there is nothing progressive about the pro-death movement. Even the ancients knew it was wrong. It is truly regressive. We know Planned Parenthood is a pro-death organization that is committed to the destruction of human life and one that continues to display abhorrent, unethical, and illegal behavior, both in clinics and in courtrooms across this state, across this nation. Like a wolf in sheep's clothing, Planned Parenthood is a criminal enterprise. A criminal enterprise, not a healthcare provider. In no way, shape, or form are they providing legitimate healthcare to women. Following the devastating passage of Amendment 3, Missouri has faced an onslaught of lawsuits aimed at destroying all basic health and safety protections designed to shield women from dangerous medical practices. In the latest battle, Planned Parenthood filed a lawsuit in Missouri challenging our state's health and safety regulations and standards for abortion facilities. The loss of these standards would allow doctors to coerce women into getting abortions, use unsafe, unsterilized equipment on women, allow unqualified personnel to perform these life-altering procedures, would force women to navigate medical crises alone, and would deny women the right to receive an ultrasound before an abortion. That's what the other side is arguing for in court today because of the passage of Amendment 3 last November, by less than 100,000 votes, by the way. It's the exact parade of horribles that so many of us in the pro-life movement warned would happen in the wake of Amendment 3's deceptive and pro-death language. The drafters of Amendment 3 chose vague, broad language to trick the people of the state of Missouri so that they could trot out this parade of horribles and undermine health and safety laws that have been on the books for generations. The proponents of the pro-death amendment lied, and women and children died. But I don't take a knee when the chips are down. I don't give up when the enemy has the upper hand. I fight. We are launching counterattacks in court and to allow these basic critical health and safety standards to continue to shield women and children from death and destruction. Additionally, my office continues the fight in the case stemming from video evidence that Planned Parenthood of Great Plains was trafficking minors across state lines for abortions without parental consent. We call that kidnapping. We call that human trafficking. We call that a denial of parental rights. This argument that they are now making in court, that they somehow have a constitutional right to traffic minors across state lines because of Amendment 3, represents the nadir of depravity. But that's exactly what Planned Parenthood is all about. If Missouri voters had known Planned Parenthood and the death squads they represent would use Amendment 3 to argue that they have a constitutional right to traffic minors without parental consent, Missourians never would have adopted that despicable amendment. They never would have believed the lie. We're actively defending Missouri's parental consent laws in court, and we will prevail. Thank you. During this fight for life, you and I must be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. We need to put on the full armor of God so we can stand against the devil's schemes and the powers of this dark world. We're called to take up our shields of faith to extinguish the evil one's arrows aimed at our most vulnerable. We must stand firm together, and so tonight, here with my brothers and sisters in arms, on the very day that cities across the state are resuming dangerous abortion procedures without any health and safety standards because of what the court in Jackson County has handed down, I'm proud to announce that we're going back on offense. I am launching a new lawsuit against the National Planned Parenthood Organization, Planned Parenthood Federation of America, for their lies and their continuous deception against women across our country as it relates to dangerous chemicals that kill and maim. First of its kind in the nation, Missouri leading the way on this fight. Planned Parenthood wants you to believe that mifepristone, the powerful drug used to kill a child in the womb, is safer than Tylenol. Even though, after taking these pills, conclusive research reports that 1 in 9 women experience serious complications requiring emergency care. Women have to go to the emergency room after taking mifepristone. It is a dangerous chemical designed to kill a human. They preach death while ignoring the danger to life. The most comprehensive study on this drug found what we already knew to be true. Mifepristone kills women and children. The lies must stop. We have to expose them. And we're going to hold these charlatans and death dealers accountable. We deserve answers from liars who masquerade as a legitimate healthcare facility. The people who are telling women these lethal pills are safe and should be available through the mail in violation of federal law that has been on the books for more than a century are the same ones bragging about trafficking our children across state lines to perform dangerous life-altering procedures. They don't want parents to know where their children are, and they don't want women to know just how blatantly dangerous and deadly their drugs are, because they're more interested in a radical ideology than freedom or human life. We have been fighting tooth, fang, and claw since I've taken office, but we can't do it alone. You are the ones. It is you who have been saving our women from the doorsteps of death. Who are these Philistines who mock the army of the Lord? The words of David ring true in his fight against Goliath, just as it does now in our fight against the pro-death movement. We must continue recruiting people to fight in the war for life. Our most vulnerable need us to gather together to surround them with Christ's love. Ephesians 2:10 says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." We get to be God's hands and feet on this earth, and he has put us together in different walks to fight in this war to defend life, to defend his children. Let us reflect the glowing light of his love as we face the enemies of life, cloaked in the full armor of God. My brothers and sisters, this war requires warriors. Let's gear up in the fight for the right to life. I have staff here in this building who would love to talk with you if you want to connect with my office. Even if you are not one of my Missouri constituents, I can still represent you. We want to tell your stories and stand alongside each of you in our shared calling to save more lives and protect more women. Your witness accounts are the tip of the spear at the crossroads of morality. Those will be a testament to the truth, a testament to the miracle of life. I leave you with this. Protecting the vulnerable is not optional. For me, there is no surrender, no retreat. Together, we can rise up above Planned Parenthood, this cult of death, to save the innumerable mothers who need someone to lean on, a prayer or an outstretched hand. Let us never forget that trials are the crucible in which perseverance is forged. So stand firm. If God is with us, we cannot fail. And we are his warriors here to defend and protect his children, because his children are worth the fight. I'm keeping all of you in my prayers as you're the warriors in this fight between good and evil, and I ask you to also pray for me and my team as we fight to the highest courts in this land to end this carnage. It is a privilege to get to serve as the 44th Attorney General in the history of the state of Missouri, and I promise you, we can and will prevail in this fight to save life. God bless you, and thank you for what you do. Thank you for having me here tonight. Thank you.